Hello, this is Sam from ValueTech Academy. In this video, I will show you how to use stored procedures with output parameter in SQL with the help of a scenario. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more SQL videos like this. Also, we have a free SQL course that will help you to practice SQL using 30 real-world scenarios. Link to this free SQL course is provided in the description. You can check it out. Let's get started now. In this video, I will be using this dataset provided by Microsoft to explain this SQL scenario. If you want to know how to get this dataset to practice SQL, check out the video we created. Link provided in description. So let us see the requirement for today. We need to write a SQL query to count the number of products with color red. So this looks like a simple query, but I will show you today how this requirement can be solved using a stored procedure with output parameter. So the table we need to check is production.product. So let's see the data here. So we have the product IDs and product name, and also we have the column color, and we have different colors here. And what we need to do is we need to count the number of products with color red. So what usually we will do is we'll just filter it out using the column name, and then using a count function you will be able to find the number of products with color red. But the same thing I'll show you how we can write using a stored procedure with output parameter. So let me show you how we can create a stored procedure with output parameters. So let us create a new stored procedure with the keyword create procedure, and let us give a name for the stored procedure. And we are going to give the parameters within this. So first we'll give an input parameter, add color. So this is going to replace this particular value here in this query. We can check the table production.product, and if you go to this column color, you can see the data type is in varchar 15. So we need to provide the same data type. And the second parameter is going to be the output parameter. This parameter will capture the total result set that was returned by this store procedure find products. So for creating an output parameter, we will be using a keyword called output. I will show you how this can be done. So for the output parameter, let's give a name to the parameter. Since it's going to collect the total number of rows, so we'll give this data type as int, and it's going to be an output parameter. It means it's going to return the value from this store procedure. So we'll mention it using the keyword output, and then we'll use the keyword as, and next it's going to be begin and end. In between this, we are going to provide this query. We are going to replace this with this input parameter add color. So next what we are going to do is we are going to collect the total number of rows returned from this query. When this query is executed, the total number of rows in the result set we are going to capture, and this store procedure will return those number of rows. So to do this, we'll write another statement. So what happens is, so when this statement gets executed, the total number of rows in this result set is captured using this system variable at row count. So if you see here, we didn't declare this row count variable anywhere. So because this is a system variable which will capture the total number of records from the previous statement. So those number of records, the value which we got from this variable we are going to pass to this product count, which is an output variable. So output variable means it's going to return once the store procedure execution completes, it will be returning the value inside this particular variable. That is what output parameter mean. So let us create the store procedure now, and I'll show you when we execute this one how this works. So you can see the store procedure got created successfully. Now I'll show you how we can call the store procedure. So first we need to declare a variable. So the purpose of declaring a variable is we need to capture the value. Whatever the value is returned from out of the store procedure, we need to capture it. So for that we'll be declaring a variable when you're going to call the store procedure. So let us give this variable a name count, and this should be the same data type as the one which is going to be returned. So here the product count is going to have data type int because the value that is going to be returned is going to be integer. So when this value is returned, you're going to capture that value in this variable count. So you need to make sure it also has the same data type int. And next statement is going to be you're going to call the store procedure. So you will provide this name, and next if you see we have two parameters. One is input parameter. If you don't mention anything like output, it by default means it's an input parameter. So you're going to pass value to this one. So let us pass this value red. So if you go to this requirement, you can see we need to find the products with color red. So let's provide red here. And the second variable, if you go here in the store procedure, we have a second parameter, which is an output parameter. So this value will be returned out of the store procedure. So that we are going to capture using this variable at count. So what we will do is we will mention this value here, and we will mention it is an output parameter. So we will mention the keyword output. So it means we are not going to pass any value to this variable. Instead, whatever value is being returned from this parameter will be captured here. Okay, and then what we are going to do is we are going to display the value we got. Okay, so when we run this one, let's see. If you see here, what happened is when the store procedure was called, okay, using this statement, the total number of rows got displayed using this query, and then the total number of rows, the values got passed to this variable at count, and this at count value got displayed, that is 38. If you go here, we need to count the number of products with color red. So using this output parameter, we are able to get the total number of products with color red. So let me explain this procedure once again. So what we are doing here is we are creating a store procedure, name find products, and within this we are going to declare two parameters. One is going to be the input parameter because we didn't mention any keyword like output. So by default, it's an input parameter. And the second parameter is going to be an output parameter at product count. And for that, we are going to mention the keyword output to make it as an output parameter. Output parameter is one that returns the value once the store procedure execution completes. So here if you see, the store procedure will be filtering the records based on the color input parameter, and the total number of records in the result set will be captured by the system variable row count, and it is passed to this output parameter at product count. So when the store procedure execution completes, the value within this at product count output parameter will be returned. So to capture this value, when you call the store procedure, we have to create a variable with the same data type as the returning output parameter. Here the returning output parameters data type is int. So we are creating a variable at count with the data type int. And when you pass this value here for this color input parameter, we are going to capture the value returned by the output parameter. We mentioned the keyword output because we are not going to pass any value to this variable. we are just going to collect the value returned from the stored procedure, and the value that got collected in this add count variable will be displayed using this select. So when you run this one, you can see the total count here from this variable. So in this way you can solve this requirement with the help of stored procedure with output parameters. To practice more SQL queries like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. If you want to practice more SQL queries using scenarios, check out our playlist for practical SQL scenarios, link provided in description. Thank you.